Hey, Joanna here, and I wanted to put together this little training on how much you should charge for your services and the things you need to think about because people do it so wrong. So I put together this training. I'm tripping out right now because I'm wearing these blue blocker glasses. It's nighttime while I'm recording this, and I can see the screen. You can see the screen I'm looking at, which is kind of trippy. If you don't know about blue blocker glasses, they're for blocking out blue light from the computer screen, and I've been wearing them at night for better sleep quality, and they're trippy. But I'm going to go into sharing my screen right now anyway, and we'll move to that. Okay, so how much should I charge for my services? This is a training for coaches, consultants, freelancers, health and wellness practitioners, any businesses that provide one-on-one services. This can be online or in person in a brick and mortar business. This is not a training for businesses that sell physical products or do-it-yourself courses. This is really people who are in a relationship business of some sort. So there are three big mistakes when I see small business owners with one-on-one services when they're pricing and packaging their services. And if you've already made these mistakes, don't worry, I'll show you how to fix them. And if you have questions about how to price and package your services in your business and you want to get one-on-one help and support, you can simply apply for a strategy session with me at the bottom of this page. Here we go. The number one most common mistake I hear from small business owners when they're trying to figure out how to price their services is that they start by looking at what other people in their field are charging. Now, what does what other people charge have to do with you? You don't know what their business expenses are. You don't know what kind of personal income they need. You don't know their tax implications. How much they charge really has absolutely nothing to do with what your services are and how much you need to charge. I will interject a little caveat here. The mistake here is to start by looking at what other people charge. After you've figured it out though, after you've figured out exactly how much you need to charge to be profitable and sustainable, it is useful and even important to understand where that positions you in the market. If you're positioned as cheaper than most, then that's how you're going to be seen is as the cheapest. That's what Walmart has done. Their entire brand is based on being the cheap option. No one goes to Walmart for great customer service. No one goes there for quality goods. They go there for the cheapest prices. I don't ever recommend that service providers position themselves in the market as the cheap or affordable option. And your competitive edge needs to come from other factors, not price. Hopefully that you're better in some way. And if you believe in your service and the results you can provide your clients, you should feel fine about positioning yourself at the higher end. Additionally, consumers perceive higher prices to be a higher quality service. All of these points about positioning fall in the domain of marketing, which is not what this training is addressing. In this training, I'm aiming to provide you some concrete tools for determining how to price your services for profitability and sustainability. So let's review that first point. It is a mistake to start by looking at what other people in your field are charging when you're trying to determine your pricing. The next big mistake, considering what your market can afford. There's no such thing as being able to afford something or not being able to afford something. I want that to sink in. Because who's to say how much you can afford to spend on something? I'm really asking that question. Who is to say how much you personally can afford to spend on something? What you say you can afford or not afford is based on your values and your decisions around how to spend your money, right? So, hypothetical example, here's, we'll use me. Here is green leather jacket. Here is personal development seminar. I'm at the department store with a girlfriend and I see this jacket. I love green. I love leather. That jacket would look great on me. I try it on. It's fantastic. It's $400. I say to my friend, I love it, but I can't afford that. Okay. The very same week, I get an email and into a marketing stream about this professional development seminar that is right up my alley. Love it. Want to do it. Drop $1,200. No problem. Could I afford the $1,200 seminar when I couldn't afford the $400 leather jacket? Another example, this is real life. Here's my two sons. This is my kids playing ping pong in Amsterdam. And so about a year and a half ago, we spent a month traipsing around Europe. Now let's juxtapose that with the fact that I drive a 2005 Honda Civic. I drive an old economy car, and yet I spent a month with my family in Europe. What I spend my money on, what you spend your money on, and what your clients and prospects spend our money on is a reflection of our individual values, right? I value travel. I don't really care that much about my car. They were probably about the same price. Now let's look at this in action. And in the example I'm going to give, it's a wellness business. This example comes from one of my clients, a chiropractor. So a client calls her up in dire need of being seen as soon as possible. He can barely walk. He's hunched over. This is the third time this happened in 6 months. And each time he has to take a sick day off of work, and it totally disrupts his life. So he comes in, the chiropractor does her thing. He feels better. And she says, you really need to come in while you're healthy so that we can prevent episodes like this. And he says, yeah, I know, but I just can't afford it. So this guy is losing a work day every other month. And he says he can't afford the services. He's already paying for it on the back end. This isn't about money. This is about values. Thinking that you can determine what anyone else can afford is a fallacy. And when someone tells you that they can't afford something, all it means is that they don't value it enough yet. So don't determine your pricing based on what the market can afford. This is a big mistake. It's also why I advise service providers to keep pricing off of their websites or public materials, because when you put your prices out, the prospective client will only judge you based on your prices without really understanding the value you bring. You have to have an actual conversation with the prospect in order to demonstrate the value of your services. Now, the third big mistake I see service businesses make in their pricing is having a business model based on selling single sessions or providing hourly work. So even a punch card or package of sessions, like 5 or 10 sessions, is problematic, especially if you provide a discount on the punch cards or the packages, a discount from what was already your lowest rate. Now, I want to talk about why this is a problem from 2 different perspectives. One, from a client-centered, service and results-oriented perspective, and then 2, from a business sustainability and profitability perspective. So those of you that know me personally know that I owned a brick and mortar fitness business for 8 years. And I will never forget the client that taught me what's wrong with selling single sessions or even the packages of sessions. This was my 2nd year in business, I believe, and his name was Greg. He came to my business for personal training, and he was a pretty fit and active guy. His goals were fairly simple. He wanted to look good. He worked in sales, and he felt that the stronger and fitter he looked, the better his sales numbers would be. And so he bought a package of 10 sessions because that's the kind of thing I offered at the time. So the first week he came in for 2 sessions each week, that week. And then the next few weeks he had 1 session each week. Then he skipped 2 weeks, then he came in once, then he skipped another week. And then, can you guess? And then he complained that he wasn't seeing results. From the outside, we can see that he wasn't consistent, and that's the primary reason why he didn't see results. That was my fault for selling him a package of sessions. What I should have sold him was a program that would provide the results he was looking for. That might have been something like 3 months of working out twice a week with perhaps a monthly assessment and maybe a food journal and meal plan. He would have seen the results he wanted and been a happy camper. He would have realized that it was a no-brainer to continue the training even after the first 3 months. He'd be looking and feeling great and telling everyone about my service, and I'd be a happy and fulfilled service provider because I'd be helping my client achieve the success he was looking for. Instead, Greg didn't get results, didn't buy a new package of passes, and left as an unfulfilled client that was unserved by me. And I'm sure that if someone asked him what he thought of my business, he'd let them know he wasn't too impressed. That was my fault for not setting up my service model to truly get results for my clients. A single session, per session, or hourly model is not generally going to provide your clients the results they're looking for. Now, I've been on the client end of this too. So I'm a competitive athlete. I'm an Olympic style weightlifter. I'm also in my 40s, which is kind of old for this sport, right? So it's a hard sport on a body. So body work is a big piece of my self-care regimen and my physical maintenance. Over the years, I've been fortunate to work with some incredibly gifted body workers, but not so much in business. They have always only offered single sessions or a package of sessions. What they're doing is selling me their time, and I don't want to buy their time. I want to buy results. I have specific performance goals and demands that I put on my body, and this work is an essential part of helping me meet my goals. I consider the body workers experts at what they do, and I want them to give me an expert recommendation for what my treatment and care should be. They know my body. I want them to tell me what I need, but they don't. They leave it to me to decide when to come in, how frequently to come in, and for how long. And this is a really big mistake. My body workers should be giving me their expert recommendation for how frequently I need to be seen, and then they should be selling me that service. If a body worker that I love recommended that I get a weekly massage for the next 6 months, I would happily commit to that. I'd feel great about making that clear commitment to my goals, and I'd be excited that I had my body worker in my corner with me, helping me achieve my goals. Your service packages should be based on providing great results for your clients. Single sessions don't do that. Now, if you're a digital marketer, social media manager, virtual assistant, graphic or web designer, in the freelance category, prospective clients contact you for what seems like a single project, a few hours of work. They say, I just need this one landing page built, or I need a logo designed. So you quote an hourly rate and you give some estimate of how many hours it will take. But this type of hourly model limits your ability to build a sustainable and profitable business. And it limits your ability to provide amazing results for your clients. Those clients actually need more than just a landing page or a website built. If you were to dig into their real goals, you'd find that they've got all kinds of holes in their game plan. And you as the expert can see this and they can't. And you as the expert know how to fix and seal those holes. You'd also see that this project they're working on right now is actually part of a bigger vision to build a successful business. So you can and should design service offerings that actually help them achieve their larger goals. Think about helping them get optimal results for their long-term goals and what that would look like, and design your services with that in mind. This is a client-centered approach to pricing and packaging your services. An hourly or session-based service model doesn't work from a business perspective either. If you can't forecast as a business owner exactly how much money is scheduled to come into your business next month, and the month after that, and the month after that, you are living month to month. Every month, you have to continually work on selling more hours or sessions in order to create revenue. You don't know how much money you'll be bringing in next month. There's no guarantee that you'll sell as much this month as you did the past few months. And a bad month or two is stressful and scary. You need to have a business where you can actually forecast, not estimate or hope, exactly how much money is scheduled via automatic billing to come into your business next month and the month after that and the month after that. Then if there's any shortfall coming up, you know exactly how much money you need to make in new sales before any shortfall happens. Your income and expenses should not be a guessing game. And if in your current business you're living month to month in what feels like an unpredictable roller coaster, you can fix this. The fix starts with you designing a service model that provides ongoing real results to your clients. And the free calculator below will help you do that. It will help you design the packages. But first, to design the packages, you need what I call your base hourly rate. That's the front page of the calculator. And you need some specific information to put into that calculator to determine your base hourly rate. First, you need to know your ideal schedule. That is what a fully booked schedule looks like for your business. And I want to break this down. Imagine, visualize, and plan your ideal schedule for your life, not just work. So how do you want to wake up each morning? What time do you want to wake up? How do you want to feel when you wake up? This kind of stuff. How do you want your day to proceed? What do you want to happen each day? Are weekdays and weekends different from you? Go through each day of the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and determine how you want each day to look. For real. Do different things happen on different days? Do you spend time with family or friends every day for a certain period, or do you set aside a whole day at a time for that? Do you work with clients for part of every day, or do you set aside particular days entirely devoted to working with clients? When do you work on your business? That's your marketing, consultations and sales, strategic planning, reviewing key metrics and financials, networking, etc. Do you do this every day for a specific period, or do you set aside half days or whole days to focus on just this? You get to design this however you'd like. Come up with the exact number of hours that you want to spend working with or for clients. And this is what some people would call billable hours. If you're providing direct services like massage or health coaching or therapy, this would be the hours you're working directly with clients. If you're a freelancer, this would be the hours you're completing the work needed for clients. These are the hours you're getting directly paid for. And you need to know how many of these hours per week and month you ideally want to work, because we're going to be using that number to figure out your base rate, the basic minimum hourly rate you'll use to design your service packages. And by doing this, you'll be avoiding a big mistake that so many people make. Remember how I told you not to look at what other people charge in order to determine your pricing? Well, if you were to take someone else's hourly rate, you then would have to calculate how many hours you need to fulfill at that rate to make the income you need. And that's backwards, right? Because the number of hours you need to work in order to be profitable at someone else's hourly rate could be completely unsustainable and not fit your life. You might find that you need to be working 40 hours a week directly serving clients. And on top of that, the 10 to 20 hours a week you should be dedicating to running your business, doing the marketing, sales, financial and key metrics review, all that other stuff. Add that together, and now you've got a 50 to 60 hour work week required to be profitable. And I've talked with lots of small business owners in this exact predicament. They need to book themselves for 30 or 40 hours a week of direct client work to be profitable. They don't have time for exercise, self-care, rest, relaxation. They don't feel like they have enough time to spend with their kids, their partners, their friends, and family. And what you hear them say all the time is, I don't have time, or I'm so busy. No one starts their own business to be overworked and overwhelmed. And yet so many of us back ourselves into the 60-hour-a-week business because our pricing is based on what other people are charging or on this perception of what the market will pay. So the fix, set up your pricing for profitability based on your income needs and your lifestyle choices. So how many hours a week you dedicate to your business is a choice. You can choose to work 60-hour work weeks, but it should be a choice you consciously make, not one you're backed into because of your pricing. Pricing is not a guessing game. You need to know what a fully booked schedule at your base rate will provide your business profit. What's profit? The money your business brings in is called revenue. What it spends is called expenses, right? Revenue minus expenses equals profit. Profit is not what you get paid. Profit is what is left after you get paid. Your pay needs to be built into your expenses. A profitable business is one in which there is extra money after all the bills have been paid, any employers or contractors have been paid, and you've been paid. And in the calculator I provide below, you need to put in a target profit amount. So how much should that be? If you have no profit right now or are in the negative, start by aiming for 5%. Get to 5% consistently, monthly, and over time you can increase your profit goals. Why? What do you do with profit? Well, first you build savings. Ideally, you want to have 3 months of operating expenses in savings. And if you have no savings, start with saving 1 month worth of operating expenses. Then keep going, build from there. You can also pay off debt. So after you've accumulated 1 to 2 months of operating expenses and savings, you can start splitting your profit between savings, putting in savings, and increasing your debt payments. The savings are important because they prevent you from going into any further debt. Now, once you have 3 months of expenses and savings and you've paid off your debts, you can start funneling your profit to build up for your next phase of business growth, make regular donations to causes you believe in. You can even dedicate a certain percentage of your profit to go to one particular cause. It's up to you. The more money you make, the more you can use or give away to things you believe in and value. Now, let's be clear about something. All of this talk about profit is based on the assumption that you are already paying yourself everything you need, including enough for your own personal savings and your retirement investments. In order to create your pricing and packaging, you also need to know the fixed costs and variable costs of running your business. Fixed costs are the ones that stay the same each month, like your rent, software subscriptions, telephone bill, etc. And even if some costs fluctuate a little month to month, but still have an average that stays consistent, I put that in fixed costs. Variable costs are costs that change as you fulfill more or less client hours. So an example is a massage therapist. This is an in-person business. An increased client load in a massage therapy business also means that you need more supplies like oils, or you need to do more laundry. So the expenses go up as there are more client hours fulfilled. Labor can also be a variable cost depending on who you've hired and how you've designed their compensation. Now, if you're just starting your business and you don't have any track record of expenses to look at, you're going to need to estimate, and you may not actually have a concept of what your expenses will be. So do a little research, ask other people that provide your service what their main expenses are, and please don't forget your pay needs to go into the expenses. If you pay yourself a salary, you can put that in fixed costs. If you pay yourself based on the number of sessions or client hours you fulfill, you can put that pay per hour or session in the variable costs. And if you pay yourself both ways, like a base salary plus an hourly pay based on client hours, put both those expenses into fixed and variable costs accordingly. Quick recap. Step number 1 was determine your ideal schedule, how many directly paid hours you want to work each month. Step number 2 was determine your monthly profit goal. And step number 3 was identify your average cost, both fixed and variable. So let's take a quick look at the calculator. I'm going to show you around and then we'll come back. Okay, so when you click on that button below, you're going to get to this Google Drive doc. The first thing you need to do is go up here to File, and you need to go Make a Copy. You won't be able to edit this version because that's my Google Drive. So you make a copy into your own, press OK, and now you have a usable version. You can name it anything you want to. I just want to show you really quickly what this looks like. And here we go. This front page is all the instructions that you need, but I still want to show you a few things, particularly the tabs at the bottom. So look down here at the bottom where my mouse is. The instructions is the first sheet. The next page is the base rate calculator. This is where you start. So the base rate, let me increase this size a little bit for you. The base rate calculator is where you're going to come up with this basic hourly rate. Note, it's the highlighted places where you're going to actually fill in the blocks. You don't touch anything in white. So you're going to put in your variable costs. If you have any, you might have none. You're going to put fixed costs in. And for example, we could simply start with salary and let's say $5,000 a month salary required. And let's say taxes, we have 350, whatever it is, we're making that up. And a profit goal, let's say $500 in profit and so on. Now you need to put in your billable hours. Let's say it's 20 per week, right? So we filled in a few numbers and we get here this base rate. That's what you're going to be looking for, is that hourly base rate. That's not a number that you're ever going to be charging people or saying to people. Instead, you're using that to design your packages. So now let's look down here. There's 4 different tabs and you're going to pick based on your field or your profession. We have coaching of all sorts, okay? And this just kind of breaks down to how many times per month you're meeting with them. And this would be how many months the commitment is. We have massage, and in massage I have 90-minute session, 75-minute session, 60-minute session. And we have weekly, twice per month, and once per month. Now, again, it's the highlighted boxes that you're filling things in. So you're going to put a base rate in there, and you'll increase it a little bit based on length of service. So the shorter the kind of membership or subscription, the higher the per session or hourly rate will go up. In fitness, oh, and by the way, let me note that with massage, this is just the names here. You can name them anything you want to. In fitness, we have private training, semi-private training, and group training. And in freelance, we have just a really different kind of model with the hours. And you can totally mess around with this and play with this. If you know spreadsheets at all, you could make it up to 10 hours per week with that if you want. All right. So again, instructions are here. That's how that works. With the right numbers in place, you'll know that your services are profitable because you've factored profit into the equation. You'll know that your business is sustainable because it's based on you actually thinking about your ideal schedule and making conscious choices about your work hours. And you'll create packages that provide the ongoing services that help your clients achieve the results they're looking for. If you want to get one-on-one guidance and support to launch your business or take it to the next level, if you know you need help, you know you need to figure this out, you need to start making money, you're lacking confidence, you have no strategy for moving forward, you're not taking action, any of these things, you need a guide, a mentor, a coach to help you. So I invite you to schedule a strategy session with me. These are by application only. There's no cost. And here's how it works. Below me, you'll see step number 3. That's my online scheduler. You book a time there, and after you book your time, you'll be taken to an application. Submit the application, I'll review it, and I'll get back to you with a confirmation or not for our strategy session. Okay, I hope this is a useful, applicable training to you. I look forward to hearing from you.